Hello everyone, my name is Supernova, and welcome back to the lab. As you can tell, because we're in the lab, it means that it's going to be another Redstone video today. And if I'm careful not to fall into the bottom of this pit, we can get started. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit more complicated. I'm not going to show you just yet. And it's going to be a 7-segment display. So, when I turn around, you will get to see it. Yeah, not too much to show yet. That's why I need to build it. So, just to explain what a 7-segment display is for any of you that don't really know, it's a thing that displays numbers based on 7 segments. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 segments. Each one, if you power into the middle block of the lamps, you will get your output. This machine that I have made takes up 8 by 9 by 11 space. It's pretty big. And you can see I've already laid out some stuff here, which I'll explain later. But just to clarify one thing, technically this is a 7-segment counter. Put it straight, it's going to be activated by a button that will count everything. It will just count how many times the button's pressed. It's not technically a 7-segment display, but it's easier to call it that. So, to get started, you're going to want, if you're in survival to be exact, 13 redstone lamps, 9 comparators, 36 pistons, 30 pieces of glass, 49 cauldrons. Don't forget that you're going to have to fill those up. 30 slabs, 8 repeaters or more based on the wiring. 1 sticky piston or more again based on how many extensions you want off. Redstone dust, I'd say just take a stack or more because that's kind of dependent on your wiring once again. And a block of choice. I'd say about a stack. But always be prepared with more, because I cannot say your exact numbers based on your dimensions. So, let's get straight to it. So to start, you're going to want these 3 items, 4, 5, I can't count. These 5 items, and just to clarify, I am using lime concrete because it helps me to find the wiring more organized, you know? So, to start off the wiring, this is for the actual display. You're going to want to put 2 blocks here, 1 block there in a kind of an L shape, extend 1 off there, and kind of come back around in a C shape, and place a comparator here, place redstone dust here, 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 and then 2 repeaters. And just so you know, you can always test if it's working by taking a cauldron and some water, placing in front of your comparator. That segment's working. Also, let's get rid of these levers. So I'm going to be doing this in layers because that's a little bit more simpler in my mind. So let's continue. I'm also going to grab some glass just real quick so I can stack this. Okay. So, the next segment, you're going to want to make sure you can place slabs, 2 right here. Give me a second. Okay, 2 slabs right there. Redstone block right on top of this. The slabs are just so it doesn't cut off the redstone down here, by the way. Then you're going to want to place another block here, a redstone repeater, redstone dust, another redstone dust also, just to make sure you want to cut it off here. That's part of another segment. Place a block there, kind of helps as well. But then you're going to want your comparator, and then this segment is done. So you can see here that it powers that one. So to continue, place this block here, comparator, 2 redstone repeaters going in, and then you can test again. You can kind of see that I'm going in a zigzag pattern just across this because that's the easiest way to make sure that none of the wires interconnect But I've also left, so first of all, this little cross shape here is going to be a piston feed tape. I've left a cauldron space that will not be sensed because that will be able to sense your next segment. So if we continue on, which I think everyone will want me to continue on, place a block right here. This is where it starts getting a little complicated, so I apologize if I slow down. Just doing that for a measure, but yeah, that will go there. Place a block right here. Redstone repeater. Redstone dust. Block. Block. Ooh, whoopsie. Let me fix that. And a comparator right there. So now, I know I kind of skipped a bit, but place them there. This segment's all lit up. Perfect. So the next one you're going to want, this is just to help me think that I'm doing it in this order, is a comparator there on top of a slab, a block right here, place redstone dust in that, cover it up going that way, and then test it. This should work. Yep. There you go. And now, to just finish it off a little bit, place redstone repeater, redstone dust, comparator, test if you'd like. That one works. And then dust on top of the block on top of that, sorry. Redstone dust going across here, repeater, and comparator. That's the roof. Okay, there you go. All segments should be working now. If you'd like to test them again, don't be afraid to. It shouldn't break anything. But now, to move on to the second step, the piston feed tape. Okay, so the piston feed tape's ready to be built out. So, first of all I did in that little cut was added the pistons on each of these corners. If you look at the older cut before I put in the pistons, you'll see this will help know where you go. Like this is just, each of these blocks is going to be where the piston feed tape actually is. So, what the pistons actually run on is what is called a redstone ladder. I don't know if that's the actual technical term, but that's just what I call it. So, just get my little outline ready. So, that one. Okay. So to start this, what you're going to want to do is place slabs one block apart on each of them. Then you're going to want to space them out like this between. Be careful because you may end up breaking your old slabs. Then just place redstone dust on each of the slabs. Pretty simple. And then when you power it, it should activate every single piston. So go ahead and just add that on each of these pistons. Here's your directions that you need to be going. This is just so it works out with the redstone wiring I'll be showing you later. But yeah, the two pistons, based on this front view, on the right, have their redstone ladders on their right, again, facing the contraption. This one has it going back, this far left one, and this one, close left one, is facing towards the left. That's pretty simple. Now all you have to do is add them all in, and we can get to the actually fun programming part. Now, as I'm adding these in, I'll explain how the programming actually works. So it technically uses bits, which are ones and zeros that are used to say when something is on or off in this case. So I would say my ones are a filled cauldron, and my zeros are pieces of glass. So because they're based on or off, this makes it so I can run the piston feed tape with cauldrons in them right in front of the cauldron, not cauldrons, comparators, right in front of the comparators, and they will tell them when to activate. So, using that knowledge and the fact that the cauldron is one of the few things that a comparator can sense that can also be pushed by a piston, I can talk, we can make this simple system. So the next step would be putting in the redstone wire. I will show you my design for the redstone wire in my redstone world here in just a second, but I don't have the space to do that here. So that's why I will show you how I did it. But wire them all up. These further ones, the ones that are right next to a block, should always happen before. So the way I've done this, if I were to just give a quick demonstration, is I would have a redstone thing, wow, a redstone wire running underneath all this into this one, and those are individual ones. So just a straight wire all the way through. And then I would add a delay of repeaters. I don't have any repeaters on me. I would add in a delay of repeaters, usually 2 or more, about that much delay, and then I connect it to each of those coming off of the wires I placed earlier. That's pretty simple, and that's why I said to bring a certain amount of repeaters and redstone dust, just so that you can wire it around anything that you need. But also, if you're going to add on segments, do that first before you start doing redstone. I mean, you can, but you'll just have to adjust your redstone based on those. I'll show you in just a second. But for the piston programming, going from 0 to 1, starting at this block, right here, the piston pattern that you should do is posted right on the screen now. So going from left to right is 0 to 9. Just place them in for block showed you, and you have your piston feed tape all programmed up. Now, let's just head into the redstone world. I can show you finished product, because I could not build the whole thing here. So here we are in my redstone world. Sorry, it's kind of a mess with things. Some of your bigger fans will recognize this and that, but this is the simple system. You're definitely going to want to add in a T flip-flop, but just this design. Most T flip-flops will have a piston with a redstone block on the other end of this, just so that it will gives a one-tick pulse, which is exactly what I want. So, as you can see, here's the redstone wire. In this case, I actually ran the redstone from the T flip-flop over to this side as well, which is a little bit more complicated because you have to run it under this one, making sure it doesn't connect, back up around to here, connect it to this, and over here without connecting to anything. And you can see here, it's a little unorganized just because I added in my detector system. So this is the detector system. Also, I can show you, no I can't. So if you look at the picture again, here I'll show it, and I'll point to the certain cauldron. There's a cauldron with only glass next to it. That is your detector cauldron. As you can see here, when I get to 0, it will input into this T flip-flop type system and activate the next one. Now, the only complicated part is the redstone wiring that you need to do. And also, I suggest, once you do get the whole thing wired up, and have the cauldrons all inserted, test it a few times, just kind of check the coding to make sure it looks right. I mean, in my case, the 9 does not have this underline, but some people like that so they can add it on and stuff. But other than that, that's pretty much all you need to know. So, let me just show you a quick show of how this works. I come over here, press the button, now it's a 1. I press it again, it's a 2. And eventually, you can get to 9. At least with this design, you don't technically need to add the extra pieces on. But once we get to 9 here in just a second, as you can see, I'll kind of try to get the best view. But you can see this cauldron here is right next to the comparator. And as soon as I press this button, it activates that one, which then gives this one a signal to go to 2. So, I hope you enjoyed this redstone tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below so I can try to answer them. And if you want to see more videos like this, or from my playful place or whatever, I suggest subscribing so that you would know when I upload next. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed. Goodbye.